The sun dipped below the horizon, painting Lake Tranquility in golden hues, when 3 police cruisers tore up my driveway, lights flashing like a scene from a cop show. This was the 3rd visit in 2 weeks, and my patience was shot. I'm Ethan Brooks, and my Lakeside HOA lifelong dream was under attack by the Cedar Grove Homeowners Association, HOA, a group I didn't even belong to. What began as a minor squabble snowballed into a legal showdown that rocked the community, exposed shady tactics, and handed me a victory so satisfying it still feels surreal. Here's how it unfolded. 2 years ago, I realized my dream of owning a lakeside home. Raised in a cramped urban apartment, I'd always yearned for the calm of water and wilderness. Childhood camping trips to Lake Tranquility, skipping stones with my parents, fueled my vow to live in such a place someday. After years grinding at a tech firm, saving every dime, and making savvy stock trades, I found it. A cozy 3-bedroom bungalow on the lake's western shore. Built in the 80s, it had dated plumbing but huge windows showcasing the lake like a masterpiece, and a sprawling deck perfect for stargazing. The previous owner, a retired ecologist named Evelyn, had nurtured it with care, planting native blooms that attracted dragonflies and finches. I toured it on a breezy autumn day, the lake reflecting blazing oaks, and I was hooked. The clincher? The realtor, Mia, noted the property sat just outside the Cedar Grove HOA's jurisdictional dues. No rules on fence colors or shrub types, just freedom. Evelyn confirmed she'd chosen it 40 years ago for the same reason, to landscape her way. I'd seen HOA horror stories fines for birdhouses or wrong, tulips, 50-page manuals banning certain mailbox shapes. Hard pass. I wanted a home, not a dictatorship. County records verified my lot, plus 2 others, was exempt when the HOA formed decades back. I outbid a couple, paid $6,000 over asking, and 45 days later, I held the keys to my haven. The first 8 months were paradise. I ripped out tacky carpet, restored oak floors, and painted the exterior a deep slate blue that merged with the pines. I added a rain barrel to save water and sketched plans for a small pier for canoeing. Mornings meant tea with sunrises, evenings beer with owl hoots. I bonded with neighbors Luke and Jenna Carter, a young family with a toddler, and Agnes Holt, a 78-year-old widow, both on HOA-free lots. We swapped garden tips, watched each other's homes, and nodded to HOA residents across the lake. Life was idyllic. Trouble stirred when Raymond Caldwell was re-elected HOA president, vowing to tighten community standards. His speech, later shared with me, hinted at fixing boundary errors and forcing all lakefront homes to chip in. A week later, a letter arrived, welcoming me to Cedar Grove HOA, demanding 4 months dues $200 and flagging violations, my rain barrel, house color, and pollinator garden. I was floored. My lawyer, Claire, confirmed my lot's exemption, so I mailed a courteous reply with property deeds delivered in person to their office. 4 days later, another notice threatened liens. Then Raymond himself appeared with 2 board members, marching onto my deck uninvited. "Mr. Brooks," he said, his politician's grin oozing arrogance, "we need to talk compliance." I showed my deeds. He brushed them off, claiming revised surveys included my lot. He never showed proof. He listed infractions, rain barrel, a visible canoe, and my pier plans, which he'd never permit. His parting jab, "We value standards, Ethan. Don't let this get ugly." I was fuming but stayed calm. The harassment ramped up. Weekly notices cited my overgrown lawn, my lingering mailbox flag, my guests' improper parking. Anonymous tips sparked county inspections, water quality for lake runoff, structural for my deck, zoning for my shed. All cleared me. Then came the police calls. First, for loud music during a quiet picnic with my cousin's teens, all under 12. Second, for unpermitted construction when I replaced porch steps. Each time, officers left with apologies, but the public shaming stung. My neighbors faced similar letters. Agnes, elderly and alone, considered paying to avoid stress. That gutted me. The 3rd police visit, with my sister there, was my breaking point. 5 officers swarmed my yard over illegal alterations and disturbances. My sister's ukulele strummed softly in the background. My anxious sister gripped my hand. I explained, again, I wasn't in the HOA. The officers, led by Officer Larson, found nothing and left, one whispering, "This is nonsense." My sister, a former prosecutor, was livid. "This is harassment, Ethan," she said. "Fight them." I hired Sophia Grant, a property law shark known for dismantling rogue HOAs. I gathered everything: deeds, notices, timelines, a plat map of my lot's borders. Sophia's office, a sleek loft, hummed with purpose. Cedar Grove's overstepped before, her paralegal murmured. Sophia spent hours poring over my files, her eyes narrowing. "This isn't just overreach, it's a coordinated attack," she said. "The police calls could be criminal." She cited a case, Wilson v. Bayview HOA, where an HOA paid dearly for similar stunts. "We'll halt them and hit back," she vowed. I wrote a steep retainer check, knowing some battles are worth it. Sophia hired surveyor Neil Parker, a 35-year pro, to verify my boundaries. Watching him map my lot, meticulous as a watchmaker, was riveting. "Lines don't lie," he said, uncovering stakes proving a 25-foot gap between my lot and the HOA's turf. Sophia dug into county archives, uncovering a bombshell. For months prior, Raymond's HOA filed a corrected map annexing our 3 lots, backed by forged signatures, a deceased clerk's name, and an invalid notary seal. This was no error, it was fraud. We sued the HOA and its board, Raymond, Ellen Marsh, Carl Weaver, and Sandra Holt, for harassment, fraud, defamation, and emotional distress, seeking damages, an injunction, and legal costs. Their attorney, Raymond's brother-in-law, called our suit baseless, but the judge greenlit discovery. We got 2 boxes of HOA emails and notes, and the findings were chilling. They'd built files on us: photos, credit reports, even my jogging schedule. Raymond's email read, "Brooks Rain barrel tanks our property values. If he won't join, make him miserable." Ellen replied, "Crush Brooks, and the others, like that old widow, will fold." They orchestrated police calls to embarrass me, timing them for family gatherings. One email mocked my stress hosting my cousin's kids. Their own lawyer had flagged their claims as shaky, but Raymond had that email shredded. A Phase 2 plan outlined worse: contacting my boss, tracking my mail, rallying neighbors to snitch. It felt like a cartel, not a neighborhood tiff. The trial, before Judge Margaret Ellis, was electric. The courtroom buzzed with locals, bloggers, and property agents. Sophia laid out our case like a general, presenting Neil's survey, forged records, and incriminating emails. Murmurs spread when Raymond's "make him miserable" line glowed on screen. Their lawyer, Tim Norris, called it a mix-up, but Judge Ellis wasn't swayed. When Raymond took the stand, all slick charm, she pressed him. "Forging filings is a felony, Mr. Caldwell. Were you aware?" His polish faded, his answers faltered. By day 2, their defense was crumbling. Judge Ellis' verdict was a bombshell. She labeled the HOA's actions a willful, fraudulent scheme and an egregious abuse of authority. She barred them from claiming my lot, ordered a public apology, and mandated corrected filings. Then came damages: $400,000 for my losses and distress, $650,000 in punitive damages, $150,000 from Raymond personally, $90,000 each from Ellen, Carl, and Sandra, and $230,000 from the HOA. They'd cover my $85,000 legal fees and attend ethics training. She referred the forgeries and false police reports for criminal review. The courtroom erupted. Raymond and his allies quit the board that day. Their insurer balked, leaving them to pay out of pocket. I built my Pira's sleek 35-foot platform with a cedar bench, added a gravel patio, and planted more native flowers. A sign at my gate reads, "Lakeside Freedom, no HOA." I host community barbecues, drawing HOA residents to, building ties no bylaws could force. Some locals now explore dissolving the HOA. Agnes, sipping cider on my pier, toasted my win, saying her late wife would have applauded. The lake glimmers, herons swoop, and my home is truly mine. This wasn't just my triumph, it exposed how far some will go to dominate others.